Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name's Deanna and today we'll be working on week 31 of my 52 weeks of Christmas. This project should go quite quickly. Some of the things I had to prep ahead, but I will walk through what I did. So to start with, I took one of these I believe they're 6.5 inch wood bases, and they're in the 6.5 inch. And they come in a pack of 4 or 5 or something like that from Hobby Lobby in their craft department in the wood section. So I took one of those and I did paint it white first, but then I decided to put Snow-Tex on it. So then I covered it in Snow-Tex, kind of made it kind of rough looking like snow drifts, and then set it outside to dry. It's still a little damp, and so it's acting like it's a little warped, but I'm pretty sure once the stuff completely dries and then the wood can dry out that it will flatten itself out. But it's not, it's just a little tiny bit. I've also created 3 cone trees, different heights. The tallest one is about 6.5, then the middle one is about 5, and the smallest one is just a tiny bit over 4. I did not measure these. I just made the cones and cut them down. So in order to make the cones, what I did was I actually got all 3 of these cones out of one sheet of paper, and I used Authentique from the collection Imagine, and it's an older collection, but I'm not seeing a year, but it is an older collection, and it looked like, I have an extra one here, so I'll show you. It looked like this. So it had the music notes on it, and I am zoomed in so you can see because this project is not huge. So what I did was I cut off the label, of course, and then you take a corner like this. Let me zoom down a little bit so you can get a better view of what I'm doing here. There we go. So you take a corner and you roll it in until you get the point at the top there like that, and you're going to have that little peak there. It's just gonna. And then what I did was, once I had that, I kind of held it in place, and then I took hot glue and I just put a little tiny bit in there just to hold it. Okay, just to hold it a bit, hold my shape here. And I'm going to actually put it down on the table here so it, oops, sorry, you can't see me, putting it down on the table and holding that, kind of pressing on it. I don't want to burn myself because I can see it ran there. But this is just to hold it for a little bit. I want that to dry. And then I'm going to add art glitter glue, and that's going to do the final hold. So it looks like it's holding pretty good. Let me grab my scissors, and I'm just going to trim this off here, just like so. That's perfect. All right, I'm going to take my art glitter glue, and I'm going to run that right along that inside edge there. You can always go back and add more if you need to. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it back down on the table and press. And I found that a Sharpie marker, because it's rounded, works good, and it doesn't seem to damage anything. It doesn't leave any crease marks like a pencil would. So I can get right up in that cone there. All right, so then that holds that. Oops, didn't hold that very good. But anyway, if it doesn't hold that very good, press that in and re-glue it. This is just, see how I left it open a little bit. Then I take my shortest point, which looks like it's right here, and I start cutting around. And this was just a scrap piece of paper, so it's probably not a very good. And then I'll set it on the table like that. And I can see it's crooked. I need to trim off this side more. So I'm just going to go back in and trim it. Now there are probably patterns out there for making cones, but this is just how I do it without a pattern. Yeah, Now it looks pretty even on both sides. Maybe a little bit there, but it's going to get some other stuff around it, so I'm not too worried about it. There. So that's how I created my trees. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. And if you do have a template or whatever to make the cones, and maybe I'll look into that further and maybe find an actual cone template and show you that sometime. So like I said, I made 3 of those. So let's go ahead and glue those down in here. I'm going to start with my biggest one. And I'm just going to lay hot glue right along this bottom here as I'm spinning the best I can. And what I'm trying to stay kind of close to the edge so it can drip down. I'm going to put my one side to the back there. You can see the little crease there. See that? All right, let's do the same thing to this one. Right along that bottom edge, a good amount of glue. Just like so. Again, the back to the thing. And I'm hoping that glue will drip right down and adhere itself to that. Excuse me. All right. So we're going to just let those sit a little bit and let them do their thing. I also have some of these snowflakes. Oh, sorry. My goodness. Tickle in my throat today. And they were just, some of them were just from the Martha Stewart punch that does the band of snowflakes. And I have cut some of those apart. And then I did have a little one that was from her punch, but I'm not seeing that now. Oh, goodness gracious. Everything but. All right. I have to use one of these little ones in here. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors here. Oops, I'm sorry if I bumped you. I'm just going to cut this out of there like that, because I need a tiny one for this other. So I thought it looked cute to get these snowflakes right in the tops there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I thought the smallest one would probably look best with the smallest tree. And I'll tip it in a second to show you. Okay. So let's get one of these in there. Right inside of there. Oh goodness. Like so. I can go back and trim that if I need to. And this one right in there. Can always add a little bit of snow. A little bit of snow on there to kind of conceal things. Come on. Gonna hold it there a little bit while that glue tries to tack up. Of course, we got glue strings. Come on. The glue's not dry yet, so every time I pull, it's pulling more strings. All right. That one's dry. Come on, stand up. I'm going to tip it so you can see these. There we go, just like that. That one's like... Goodness gracious. Okay. And then with my Cricut, I went in and found this one here. And it's where the deer is eating the carrot nose from the snowman. So I did them in the pinky colors. And his shirt is actually from the back of the tree paper that I used. I had enough to do that. And then I coordinated his part of his hat and the deer together. And it was just that peachy pink color that's kind of matched the stripe in the shirt. What we're going to do is we're going to glue those right down to that board here, just like this. Let me see if I can hold it and tip it. So just like, whoops, there goes my snowflake. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to put more on. So I'm going to lay a hot glue in there to help. Oops. First, I cut out extra in white to glue on to cover up the back because I used cereal boxes to make it stiffer, more supportive. So I wanted to cut out, this is actually one of those breakfast sandwich boxes. But it doesn't matter, it's still the same theory. All right. So now that's white. Whoops, sorry. God, I'm out of frame. I gotta come in a little bit further for you here. There we go. Better. Okay. And we're gonna do for the deer. Now the sand is just a little bit heavier because he had a lot more layers. The deer was just, if you cut it out the way it's supposed to, it's just one layer. But theirs was designed, I'm sure, to just be put on paper or whatever. All right, I'm going to try to glue that snowflake back on there. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. Little dab. Get you back on there. Like so. See if I can move that back here so it can be held up by something. Nope, it's not tall enough. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. In the meantime, let me cover up my glue. I also have some of the Tim Holtz die cuts here. It's kind of the winter one. It's got the like the berry leaves and the pine leaves and stuff like that. And I'm going to put some of those on this deer as part of the decoration. And there's that little snowflake I was looking for. So I got some of these, and I'm just going to kind of start putting some of these down in here like that. And I'm going to use hot glue for that too. Doesn't take a lot. This is going to be covered up by something else, so I'm not worried about the glue showing so much. We're going to put a poinsettia on there that I had pre-made, and it was in my stash. Sometimes when I'm working on projects, I make up quite a few extras, and then I just put those aside. And here's the poinsettia. And so I'm sure if you've watched any of my things, you probably... All right, I think... Let me see here. Do I have another? Yeah, let's go ahead and put this one on like so. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put a good amount of hot glue right there and set that in the center. And we're going to kind of tip that so it's hot glue strings touching everything here. There we go. So you can see. And I used, what height did I use for this? I think the deer is, he's like 3 1/4, and the snowman for this one was like 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 is probably going to be your height. And then I think the width ended up being, I don't remember now, but they'll coincide. But you can make it whatever height you want. I just knew it, wanted it to fit on this little base here. Okay, these are all adhered down. They dried, dripped down perfect. So let's go ahead and figure this out now. So I'm going to pick up my deer and get them just about where I want. And I'm actually going to kind of eyeball it right this second. And then I'm going to make a mark with my pencil here for that one right there. Okay. And then I put it back here. Get the deer lined up there. Okay, so now I'm going to mark with my pencil for the deer feet here. This is all still soft. Okay. Let's get these glue strings off there. It'll be easier now than it will be once I stand them up. And I did just add, took my pen and I just added just a little eye on him. Just a tiny one. And in the snowman, I just added just a couple little white glints. And how I did that, because it's so small, is I took this little wire. See that wire? It's the wire I use for making my flowers, putting them together. And I just touched it in the paint and then touched it on his eye just because I needed a very small surface to do that. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the snowman down. I'm going to put a big puddle of glue right here. Okay. And we're going to set him in there. Now he's going to take a second to set up, and we're not going to worry about the glue right now because we're going to cover that up again. Okay. I'm just going to try to find something to go back behind there to help hold that up a second. Do I have anything that width? Maybe not. Okay. Just don't want to let him go. I got a spool of this back here, but it's not, it's too big. It's too big. Okay. Looks like it's starting to set up now. So I'm going to come back in and double check with my feet here. Okay, feet. It's the wrong spot there. That's all right. Don't mind too close, so I'm going to remark this here, here. That one's fine, and here. Okay. So let's put glue here, 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 and here. And again, it's a lot, but I want it to be able to hold that. I want to match my nose up with the deer, and I will show you in a second. Just gotta get this to tack up. I fell in love with this little snowman deer thing years ago when I seen an actual picture of a real deer eating the snowman's carrot nose. And then came across this today. I was going to do a different theme, and I will show you because I want to give you some options. Okay, maybe I'll get this pen back there to hold that up. Let's try. Nope. Too much. Too much. Okay. I'm just going to kind of hold this with one hand while I give you some other ideas. Okay, for the trees, I thought you could, well, it looks like it's standing on its own right now. Okay, so slide that back. Thought you could use some bigger pine cones that are fully dry so that they're open. I just trimmed it down. This one's a little bit taller, but these would make really cute trees. You could put even white paint on there and glitter. Put some glue on there with the glitter and make them look like snow-covered little pine trees. And if you wanted to paint them, you could, but I like the natural look. But I thought you could use, like, here's how big this one they were. See, I cut it down a little bit. And I just used my little nippers and cut down. You could hot glue those on to make them look like trees. I also came across these leaves that were in some of my picks. And I thought, well, that would make a pretty tree to glue down. You cut the wire short or bend the wire and glue it down. And those would make cute pine trees. Could also, if I can find it, make a pattern. And what I was going to do with this is make 3 different sizes, cut it shorter and shorter. And how I did this was I folded a piece of paper in half, and then I snipped in straight. Here, I'll show you on a scrap piece of paper here. Let me show you. All right. So I folded it, and then you just cut out an angle. Okay. And then I came in and I snipped straight, and then came in back at an angle. Straight, back at an angle. Straight, back at an angle. Just like that. And I did that all the way down to the height I wanted. And then I ended up with that. And you can just, if it's not pointed there, you just recut that and point it. And like that. So, see? Whoops. Just like that. So that's how you can make either make a pattern or cut them like that and then just kind of straighten it back out. Now, if you want 3-dimensional trees, then you could, let's just say this is what, you can cut 2 the same size, come up your center and just snip out just a tiny, tiny sliver like that. And then you can slide your next tree right in there. So you would cut a sliver. Let me see the height of this one. So let me get the right height. Okay, that's good. And then, so that slides down like that. So your other one would slide up. So you'd bring your sliver of the center there. And then you slide the 2 together. And that gives you a 3-dimensional tree. See? Might have to go down just a little bit further. But it will give you a 3D tree. Just like that. Okay. So you would cut 2 exactly alike and then cut the slits. If it doesn't line up, just cut a little bit more. I know it's very hard to see and I am so sorry. But that makes a nice 3D tree. We'll do some of those maybe at another time too, and I'll be able to walk you through it a little bit better. All right, we're all dry now, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. There. So, isn't that cute? Ah! So, isn't that cute? All right. So, I did have this deer, and I was thinking about using that with it. So, but I changed my mind on that. So let's go ahead and add some more snow text to this. And then we're pretty much done with this. That's how simple it is. Let me grab I want a smaller. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. I have a little palette type knife. Okay. So I'm going to get back in my snow text here. I'm going to bring it up like this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add a little bit of snow text to cover that glue on the front and the back, because this is visible from the back too. Don't need a ton, just enough to cover. And because it's the same color, we're not changing colors of anything, so just blends right back in there. looks like. So now you could use, I guess, like cotton balls and break it up, or that winter snow you can buy and break it up and use that if you don't have, don't feel you can't do something because you don't have the same products I do. Not everybody has the same stuff, but kind of try to think out of the box a little bit and think, okay, I don't have that, but I do have A, B, or C. So, and even that batting pulled apart or something, and old pillow stuffing or pillow stuffing that you're not going to use. You know, there's all kinds of things around the house. Cotton balls, just stretch them apart. You can always add a little glitter to that to make that look a little different too. So I'm having trouble grabbing that. It's getting a little dry. And we're going to put some on the back. I don't know if you can see that. Just like that. This is very light colored, and there's lots of light in my room, so I know it's a little difficult to see it. I'm going to come in through there between the legs to get that. There we go. And then I'm going to cover up where I thought I might put his feet. There. Don't want that showing. Okay. So that is it. That will dry. And it'll be a finished product. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to lift it up here. And just like that. So, all right. Okay, so that is week 31 of 52 weeks of Christmas. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and follow along with all the videos I'm doing. And thumbs up is always appreciated. So until the next time, have a great day. Bye.